Hi, Sharks. I'm Joel Pennington, the founder and CEO of Blackdot. Sharks, there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that hasn't seen much by way of innovation in over 5,000 years. And the first client on record was Otzi the Iceman. I'm talking about the tattoo industry. And while people are getting more tattoos and at a faster rate than ever before, there's a significant portion of the population that has been considering a tattoo, but is hesitant because of concerns around pain, design choices. Moreover, with social media, people are now able to see what top tattoo artists the world over are able to offer. And as a result, many tattoo seekers end up wanting to work with a tattoo artist that is out of reach. Blackdot has solved all of these issues and more. We've recently introduced the world's first automatic tattooing device paired with an online marketplace for high-end tattoo art. Licensed designs are uploaded into our platform, and the Blackdot device tattoos at a level of precision that hasn't existed until now. We use fantastically small black dots, roughly the size of a human hair, as the pixel to create our tattoos. With Blackdot, we've created something that's scalable. So Sharks, it's time to roll up your sleeves. And for $1.5 million for 5% equity.
Oh, is that all?
You can join Blackdot and be a part of the tattoo revolution.
So, Joel, do you have a business behind this?
Hold on, man. Hold on, Mark, man. We are back with another Shark Tank Breakdown episode. I am your host, Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney, dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, as well as trade secrets. And look, we can get through with the four things that I look for, the 3 plus 1, I should say. Start with the fourth one. I know they have intellectual property on this. I've never seen an automatic tattooing device. So I would imagine that they definitely have trademark patents. Matter of fact, I looked up on a test database. They do have a trademark for the term Black Dot. I would imagine that they have a ton of patents on this as well. Now, kind of going to the top, simplicity, typically I would say yes, but yeah, I'm not sure. Effectiveness, we'll see the sales again. They say 1.5 million for 5%. So what is that? Around $20 million valuation, or not $20 million valuation. What is this? 1.5 million. And then the effectiveness of it. Man, the tattoos look cool. So man, we'll leave that there for right now. Now in terms of the reviews and the sales, we'll be able to kind of tell the effectiveness when they talk about how many of these things have they sold. I would imagine that for 1.5 million for 5%, that they're not just, it's $20 million, a little bit, around $20 million valuation. I would imagine at that valuation, they're not just a theory or a concept. They actually have done some numbers, hopefully anyway. And then the market. One of the things that was interesting, I was talking to a gentleman. That's why I love doing the interviews that I do on this channel, is because people, they kind of, we talk and kind of what's on the horizon and things like that. And I never knew that the tattoo removal industry was booming the way it is. He was like, man, this would be, you have a mobile tattoo shop, a mobile tattoo removal shop, you'll make a killing on that. And I didn't realize that tattoo removal, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't realize that people were getting them at an alarming high rate, which I guess is interesting. But again, on the flip side of it, the market in terms of for tattooing, I don't know, man. I'm not sure, man. Tattoo seems like it's one of those things similar to like a barber or maybe going to your doctor. You want to have that rapport with the person who's going to be kind of making this long-lasting impression on your body. Do you want a robot essentially or effectively doing that? I'm not sure. You guys have to let me know in the comment section. It seems like, and I have a few tattoos here, and I always kind of enjoyed the human touch. If it was too hot, I mean, if it was, if the pain was kind of too much, I can be able to kind of communicate with that a person and kind of then, well, let's take a break or whatever the case may be. And it seems like with this device, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of thinking out in real time. I would love to hear from you guys. And like I said, it seems like they maybe did some tattoos using this device. So to the extent that you have got the Black Dot treatment, let me know in the comment section and let me know your experience. Did you love it? Did you not love it? Was it easy? Again, it seemed like the tattoo that they were showing were a little bit more kind of simple and straightforward, as opposed to something that's a little bit more complicated or big. Say, I know a lot of people get like the back tattoos. I'm not sure if this thing is doing a back tattoo, but maybe if you kind of have something that's pretty straightforward and simple or small, this thing is great for it. And again, tattoo can be $200-300 or thousands of dollars. So maybe this thing is I don't know. Maybe this thing save you a little bit of money. These are some of my initial thoughts as I'm thinking through this thing. Some housekeeping items. Please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. Let's kind of get back to it. See if these guys get a deal. It seems like Mark was want to interject there and kind of give us his thoughts. So let's go.
We do. So what we've done here is this is fake skin, synthetic skin, and these are tattoos by the Blackdot device.
Okay.
I just figured this
so
was...
it's down to a very fine level. Like when you look at this here, it's extremely fine.
Do tattoo artists hate you?
Some do.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
because you take their jobs,
Well, that's not
essentially.
necessarily the case. Here's how it works. First of all, when we license designs, we license them from tattoo artists as well as visual artists.
It's
And every time,
scalable for the tattoo artist.
every time a licensed tattoo is executed, that artist gets paid. So actually for tattoo artists, for the first time ever, we're enabling them to scale in an industry with a low ceiling. Right now, they just trade time for money.
Yeah, I'm into the tattoos. I got over $300,000 worth of ink on my body.
really?
Do you really?
I do. Because my tattoo artist is one of the top in the world, Arlo, and he's really expensive.
Wow.
What is your business model? Just give me the breakdown.
First of all, this company was founded in 2019. We're venture-backed. I've raised $4.5 million to date.
Oh,
We launched the company formally in October of last year. And so what we've done is we had 3 very different artists just to kind of prove the power of the platform. So the first artist, we worked with Ömer Tunca. He's a top artist out of Istanbul. So he created a special exclusive collection for Blackdot. And for his tattoos, they range in the $2,000 to $3,000 price point.
Is
Kind of-
that expensive
If
for a
he did,
tattoo?
so
Okay,
Damon,
so-
how much would one of your tattoos have cost? Because he had to do it by the hour.
one
right?
of my tattoos is 70,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
why wouldn't we put
7-0?
you?
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
The next artist that we'd worked with was Tyler Hobbs. And
Okay.
Tyler Hobbs is the #1 generative artist in the world. Generative art is using algorithms and code to create work. His pieces that are in print, they're all 6 figures. They sell at Sotheby's, Christie's. I mean, he's tip of the spear.
Okay.
And so the price points for his tattoos, $9,875
From your machine.
from our device.
You can make 100,000 of those, right?
No, right now we're very supply constrained. We're based in Austin, Texas. I have 1 Blackdot device, right? So I don't have a fleet.
Is there more pain or less pain?
People rate it as 2 out of 10 on a pain scale, is the
Oh my
average, whereas a
God.
traditional
Dang.
tattoo is 5 to 8.
So what are you selling us here today?
So originally, the business plan was to be able to create our own studios, Blackdot Studios, owned and operated.
But now what's
But what
But now that
happened?
I've been out talking to the investors, we've only pivoted the business recently to make the Blackdot device available to tattoo studios.
Do you purchase one? Do you lease one?
So
He only has one.
the plan, the
Right,
model that
right.
probably makes more sense is to lease it.
what does it cost to make a machine? What do you sell it for?
And please talk about revenue. I'm dying over here. We have to
Well,
get
there's
to
not
revenue
much,
in a
right? But go
second.
ahead.
Because you got 1 machine.
So right now, our internal cost is about $120,000 to be able
Whoa.
to build the device.
Okay.
That's why you want to lease them, though, right? Because it's so expensive to get any type of markup. It's going to be really difficult for third parties to just come in and buy.
130,000 is what I'm doing with my engineering team now. As
Shelf
soon as we
parts,
have
yeah.
a contract manufacturer
Joe,
come
let's
in,
stay
we have
focused
line
here.
of sight to be able to. Sorry, we have line of sight to be able to get this down to about $50,000.
Got it.
Per unit.
One machine. How many tattoos have you made with it?
We've made over 100.
How many paying clients?
Most of them are test people as we've been testing the
Test
product
people.
Okay, so we know 120 to 30,000 to make it.
to make the device.
Now, if I wanted to
internally.
buy it, I have
Yep.
my own tattoo shop and I want to buy it.
I don't have a price for you right now. We've only recently been able to make this transition to be able to lease it. So
So what have you spent the $4.5 million on if you don't have a business plan?
And-
this is
5 years.
exceptionally hard to be able to do. All my team on the engineering side are all Johns Hopkins PhD.
Yeah, look, it is hard.
To
We
make
did that
the
too.
machine,
That's crazy.
essentially, it took that long.
Joel, am I wrong in saying this? There is no business plan. You want me to give you $1.5 million for 5% to go into a journey of chaos with you.
Not looking good.
and for his robotic tattoo company,
OX.
Blackdot.
Joel, am I wrong in saying this? There is no business plan. You want me to give you $1.5 million for 5% to go into a journey of chaos with you.
That's crazy.
That's not fair at all. In fact,
well, what?
All right, before we go off on a tangent, the hard part
and
for us.
by the way, there's patents. We have 4 issued patents.
So
Nice,
what we're trying to
nice.
do is get a real feel for how you would grow the business.
Yep.
So what you're telling me is we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, $50,000 to make a machine. You're going to then lease it to others. You're going to charge how much? Because you had to have done this math, right? To figure out
we
if you
have
can
our
make
internal math that I have. Yep.
what is the revenue per machine per month?
On an annual basis, it's roughly $1 million. And margins on that were like 79%.
But you don't really know because you haven't really done
let's
it.
oversimplify it. I get a machine. I'm a tattoo shop. I run $2,000 a day on tattoos, $10,000 a week,
I think
$40,000 a month.
Tattoo, an
So
average
okay,
price.
so let's say that thing is running about an hour, right? And you're open 8 hours. So that's the model on probably how much a shop can do with the machine. How do you get paid?
So what we would do is, I mean, you'd have a flat rate, presumably for a leasing piece. They would be able to go ahead and put their own artwork in it to be able to use it. There's probably a subscription service for being able to go ahead and leverage that. And then there's, in all likelihood, a marketplace, the marketplace that we've designed, which they would have access to as well. We get a piece of that as well as the contributing artist.
Joe, can I jump in for a second? Let me just say something about this that is kind of rubbing me the wrong way. There are 3 levels. It's go to product phase, and then it's go to market phase, and then it's go to scale phase. I love the go to scale phase because now you have a product, you know what your market is, and you just kind of ramp up. You're still in product phase. And this costs a lot of money to build a 2-sided market while simultaneously building these machines and raising all of this capital. But because of the complexity here and the stage that you're at, unfortunately, I'm out.
Yeah, no, and again, as Rayshawn goes out, I do want to kind of bring up something, which you guys have to let me know if he answered it and I just didn't catch it, but seems like he raised $4.5 million, and he's saying that the machine that cost $130,000, and it was like, okay, so where's the rest of the money? And then he's talking about John Hopkins, so it seems like he spent a lot of money on people, which I guess is not an issue necessarily if you're trying to kind of prove out the kind of the proof of concept and kind of get the machines and just kind of the business set up. But I don't know, man. That's interesting to me. That again, it seems like you got, from what I'm hearing, kind of blowing through $4.5 million and still have one machine, and maybe kind of doesn't have kind of the back end system down or the process down. I knew he had some patents. He talked about having 4 utility patents. I knew something this complicated. You definitely have some patents. It's always interesting to me when you're talking about. I know he said people have kind of offered themselves up to be able to kind of use this thing. More or less guinea pigs, and that's just always an interesting concept to me, that somebody say, okay, yeah, I get my arm tattooed by a machine that kind of just started out just on some trial and error stuff or trial phase without kind of knowing whether or not this thing is kind of has been tried and tested. Same thing with Neuralink, which with Elon Musk kind of implement a chip in somebody here. Now, if somebody's kind of disabled, whatever the case may be, I understand them taking that leap of faith. But it's always interesting to me where people offering themselves up for things such as this without having really kind of a proof of concept where things been tested and tried. So, but again, this is, I guess, America, and people do that. So it seems like Rayshawn is out. I have a suspicion that maybe others will be out, just not necessarily because it's a bad business. It seems like there's just a lot going on and not going on at the same time, if you get me. So let's get back to it and see if the gentleman gets a deal here. Let's go. Let me see here. Click on the right one.
You are here so early. You don't have any of this worked out yet. I feel like you are just figuring out what you're even going to do. What even is the business model? You're asking for a tremendous amount of money when you don't really have any factual support
At a $30 million valuation.
At a $30 million valuation. I'm so sorry. I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
Joel, I'm going to grade you on this presentation. In terms of presenting a market that we've never looked at this way on Shark Tank in 16 years, that's very large, I'm going to give you a 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a -6 on presentation skills, because you're all over the map. I'm just being honest with you. You've got to deliver some essence of a pathway to where I give you $1.5 million and somehow I get it back times X, maybe 10, 20, 30 times. That's why I'm an investor. But because you chose such a large number, $1.5 million, I got to have some essence of a plan.
Has to be buttoned up.
And you didn't deliver on that. Very nice guy, very interesting idea. And if I was going to get a tattoo, I'd want this machine because I like level 2 pain, not 10. I get that. But you just sucked in terms of presentation. I'm out.
Yeah, Joe, I don't think you're that bad. But here's what I think you did leave out. Once you pivoted to having a machine, you talked about the end user as opposed to the customer who is a tattoo shop or somebody who wants to open up one, right? And you didn't define the value to them because they're the ones that have to make the hardest decisions. And so you have to be able to model all that out to sell them. And you didn't get into any of that in terms of the economic benefit to them, so we can understand the economic benefit to us.
Yeah,
And that's what was missing. Because that's still confusing and uncertain, I'm out.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Damon.
Damon, Mr. Tattoo.
Yeah. Woo. I think every single shark here hit all the valid points, but I see such a massive opportunity here because the tattoo market is a massive, massive opportunity. And so Mark was right in there. How would I do that as a shop? You didn't define that. Added to what the other sharks said about a $30 million valuation, it's extremely hard for us to participate in this. Like, I love this idea. So much opportunity here, so many challenges at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm out.
We wish you the best, Joel.
Yeah,
really.
cheers.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Joel,
Good luck,
thanks,
Joel.
Good luck,
Thanks,
Joel.
Joel.
All right,
Cheers. Cheers. I'm looking for investors that are missionaries, not mercenaries. I'm looking for people that want to back the company because they genuinely believe in what we're doing. My advice to entrepreneurs is refuse to be discouraged and don't quit.
Damon, 300,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that he has $300,000 worth of tattoos on his body and that he's paying $70,000 per tattoo. Who would have thought? Number one, who would have thought that Damon had chickens? And two, who would have thought that he had $300,000 worth of ink on his body? It seems like Damon is exposing his personal side on Shark Tank. But nonetheless, again, this is one of those good cop, bad cop things with Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban, where they both, I thought, gave tremendous advice, albeit kind of different ways. But again, I think, and it was right. I mean, it seems like the opportunity or the market is definitely untapped, as the gentleman talked about. Now, kind of whether or not kind of that was clearly presented, I'm not sure. It seems like definitely the Sharks did not think so, especially when you're talking about giving $1.5 million. I think if he would have said, again, obviously he had he raised $4.5 million. But even if he would have had this valuation at $4.5 million, saying, hey, let me get 10% for $500,000, I think people would have been in at that, especially Damon. But when you're saying, like, hey, give me $1.5 million, you're only going to get 5%. I think that was a big issue, especially kind of given the uncertainty of how I'm going to make my money back, or really how are you guys going to kind of operate the business. It seems like that kind of wasn't so much, because you talk about end users, and I thought it was something like as I was hearing a pitch that I was going to buy this thing and kind of be able to kind of get tattoos, but it seems like it may be something that you're selling to a tattoo shop and they're doing it, which, okay, that makes sense. Then you talked about the subscription model. Seems like everything was all over the place and there wasn't no real direction or sense of, okay, this is kind of the plan for the company. And again, that is what it is. So, I understand what the gentleman was saying at the end about kind of visionaries, not mercenaries, but when you're asked for that type of money, you better have things buttoned up, because if you don't, then they're going to not only be out, but they're kind of going to chop you up in the process. So those are my initial thoughts. Let's take a look at the website. Now, he does have a trademark on the term Blackdot, which is cool, a registered trademark, I should say. So kudos to him for that. Let's kind of check out the website here. And it seems like that tattoo removal company may be even more popular, given something like this, where you have the machine doing it. But again, I actually like the website. I think the website is pretty dope. Can I go down here? There we go. I'm gonna go to the bottom, see if I can scroll to the bottom. Come on, man, I don't like the functionality of this thing. This apparently is the machine here. And $130,000 for that. That's crazy. But anyway, typically you have the patents listed at the bottom. Okay, there you go. There you go. Hey, man, whoever did the website, whoever is the patent attorney, is definitely telling them the right way. He has the patents listed here at the bottom. I love to see that, to be able to click and then see. I guess one just recently issued, because he said he had 3. He said he had 4 on the show and there's only 3 listed. Maybe a design patent, I'm not sure. But again, I love the fact that he's kind of putting people on notice that he has patents for his device. Kudos to him on that. And hey, what do you guys think about this? Now, this is an interesting one. This definitely broke our streak. We was at 5 straight deals, and this kind of finally broke the streak of obviously not getting a deal. But again, that's not to say that he can't kind of take this, figure it out, and go and do great things. That's a great thing about kind of business and feedback and being told no, and having somebody who kind of doesn't care, still going to put their head down and try to make something out of it, is you can still be successful even though you don't get a deal on this show, whatever the case may be. So again, kudos to him for going on the show, taking the feedback, seems like in stride, and You know, hopefully he has all the success in the world. Try to get this guy on the podcast and kind of talk about that journey. And again, please leave your comments in the comment section to the extent that you had one of these machines give you a tattoo, or at least the one machine give you a tattoo. Let me know what you think about this. This seems like an interesting area to say the least. Please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button for the YouTube to be a part of the IP community. And I will check you guys out later. Take care. Peace.